Lastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
They used to jam in the center.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday night, right here at the center. Your boy Veep, my man D-Ray in the building, and we have our special guest, Greg Luster. He will be back handling some technical issues. D-Ray, how you doing, my man?
It's a long week. I'm glad to be chilling at the center. We definitely got a lot to talk about.
No doubt. Did you partake in the Olympics, my friend?
Every chance I could. As everybody knows, we talked about it last week. We were very, very excited that breakdancing had been added to the Olympic roster. Little did we know the surprises that we had in store.
Yeah. And it's funny, as quick as it came, it left and it's not coming back. That's wild.
Ray Gun killed it.
Wow.
And I mean, literally, she killed it.
Now, for those who don't know,
oh boy,
there's a young lady that is she's 36. She is a quote unquote professional breakdancer representing the country of Australia. I chose not to replay what she did because it's truly, for those who have a love and a passion for breakdancing, it looks like mockery. And the saddest part is I've seen two videos of hers. Both of them videos, she looked genuinely sincere, genuinely hurt that people have been coming at her sideways. And it's like, I'm trying to normalize the situation. And I know it ain't for me to do so, but I have compassion for someone that is that oblivious. I mean,
and that therein lies the problem. Nobody on planet Earth could be that oblivious, right? It's 7 billion people walking around on planet Earth. I'm sure a good 4 billion of them already know that if you don't know how to break dance,
it's been around for a while.
Don't get on stage, let alone don't represent your whole country.
You're right. It's been around for years.
Listen, I was telling y'all off air that I didn't even see the whole video. I didn't see the whole, performance of whatever. I just seen bits and pieces, clips or whatever. And the little bit that I saw, I was just in awe, like, who really let them get on stage? Like, who was the person that signed off on it? That's what I want to know. Who was the person that was responsible for that? Because whoever signed off on it, we need to have a discussion. Like, for real. I just don't understand.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but she looks like a recipient of a participation award. Just, you got it. You did a good job. Do it. And
that's why she's crying, because according to her, she gave her best effort, right? And she created signature moves to represent the Australian and Aborigine people. Now, a couple of things. Number one, when I first saw the clip, I could have sworn that was a Saturday Night Live skit. As a matter of fact, I was touching my iPad, making sure that I had not selected Saturday Night Live. Just for Saturday Night Live to actually do it the next week with old girl that looked just like her, right? But that's, I really thought we was being punked. And number two, it was reminiscent of the times when I was growing up and you would see break dancers, and then you would see other races, not necessarily other races, but people who really couldn't dance, but they would try to mimic break dancers as a way of as almost a form of insulting the art form. They would just be all whatever they would do, and because they had an appreciation for culture, they were being insulted. Right?
Wow.
I remember, if y'all go back and y'all can watch it because YouTube ain't dinging us no more. But if you go back and look at the old Ghostbusters music video with Ray Parker Jr. and the original Ghostbusters, there's a part in it towards the end where they break down and try to break dance, and instead of spinning, somebody grabs Dan Aykroyd's legs and spinning him around. Right? That's what that was, and that was on the Olympics.
Except it was solo.
And once again, shout out, I forget the comedian name that I saw, but shout out to him. But I agree with what he said. Who did she beat to be the representative of Australia? Who was that bad that she beat them?
So before we get too deep, I want you to see this video because this gives you even more context of all that's going on. Look at this.
Child, finding out that this was a social experiment by the breakdancing lady at the Olympics makes the story all the more funnier. Now, shout out to Tasty Quiche over on X. They wrote this tweet that said, so the breakdance lady from Australia was doing a social experiment talking about white access to breaking and social hierarchy. They go on to say she wrote a paper about it, and somehow she made it through the Olympics with all of her nonsense, which shows she was playing in our faces. Honey child, we got the paper, so let's go through it and see some of the nonsense that she was writing about. If you think the paper doesn't start with straight foolishness, you'd be absolutely incorrect. On this portion of the article, she says hip-hop culture is meritocracy. Meritocracy, which is a political term which means that the power held by the people who have the abilities. Baby, nothing about hip-hop culture has anything to do with ability. It is something that is just ingrained in you. She goes on to say, the more you participate in hip-hop culture, the more likely you will be considered authentic and win events and gain respect and authority within the scene. This is the part of the story where everyone was up. At the beginning of this, she was talking about how her persona as B-girl, Reagan, is a personification. And she says, why would we make such a confession? Acknowledging the elephant in the room, such a confession goes against our understanding of the living and breathing of hip-hop. It affects our cred or credentials or our rep. She goes on to say, we might be tempted to position our double lives within hip-hop's long history of creating characters and personas. What? I got to read that back. She said, one might be tempted to position our double lives within hip-hop's long history of creating characters and personas to tell a story. She thinks that hip-hop is a personification of characters? See, this is how she ended up at the Olympics, Fran. Then she makes this anecdote here and says, are we voyeurs, like watching in? Are we culturally appropriating hip hop? Yes. Because girl, when we all saw this, we didn't know. We wasn't sure, friend. We wasn't ready. We was not ready for whatever this mess was. And y'all, it keeps going because in this portion of her paper, she says that hip hop has always been a space for young people, particularly those expressing disadvantages, to express themselves and gain a new reputation outside of how they've been described, which is true. Don't worry, she about to have y'all up. Now she continues and says, however, if commitment is the key contributor to authenticity, Do those with the greatest privilege, education, and mobility have an easier means to be considered the most authentic? Somehow, in this paper, she's basically saying that in order to be authentically hip hop outside of Black culture, you need to have privilege, education, and mobility. Basically, in a nutshell, she writes this entire paper to talk about the disadvantages her, being an Australian woman, has been having getting into the hip hop culture. She also talks about how much it cost her to travel to Europe and the United States to learn authentic ways of breakdancing. Then basically this step-by-step guide on how to become more authentic in our culture. Now here's the kicker. According to Tasty Quiche, they go on to say also the B folks or the breakdance folks in her country have been loud on social media talking about how they never heard about any tryouts or trials for the Olympics. So the real ones didn't even get a chance to compete. Finish out and say, this is many levels of complicity and dedication to making a mockery of a culture. Couldn't have said it better myself, friend.
So right there, any sympathy that you may or may not have had should be gone at this point. Should be gone. She wrote a thesis, and as her prize for writing the thesis, the Australian government went, you know what? You are going to represent us in the Olympics. Go out there and show them what you got.
Oh boy! Wow, what you think, Greg?
Man, here's the problem.
Wait a minute. Before you do that, Veet, don't you just love how somebody who sold out for Christ got to find a way to they got to find a way to answer this without saying this is
holy Rolodex.
You know what I mean? He is really thinking like, I really want to say this is some old bullshit, but I really can't. This gonna mess my brand up. I said it for you, Greg.
Man, listen. Here's the problem. I heard somebody say this. I don't even remember who said this. If I really wish that I could remember who said this so I could give them credit. But our culture is the only culture that lets other people in their culture and do things that we are the creators of, or we are the inventors of, or whatever the case may be. No other culture really lets you into their world and do the things that they do and, you know, participate in the things that they participate in. Our culture is the only one that allows that. And seeing that and hearing that is just, I don't know, man. I have no words. I'm lost for words. Like I said, from the beginning, I don't understand who stamped her, who signed off on this. Like whoever signed off on this, they need to be shot. That's a light way to put it.
Hey, wait a minute. He went Old Testament on us. That took a surprising turn. He went totally tribal Levi on us.
Man,
that's a long chain of people that need to be taken out, because it wasn't just one person to turn the light switch on. There had to be approvals, especially when you're dealing with a government. Come on, man.
But once again, though, you have people who are tone deaf to other people's culture, because if you are the dominant culture or the dominant whatever, you can have voluntary blind spots to see what you want to see and to look at what you want to look at. And so there are probably, you know, from what I see, there are a lot of people who are supporting her and supporting her effort, and they don't see it as an insult.
Right.
Because you got to look at it like this. If we're going to be really serious about it and have an educated conversation, we do have to say one of the things that our culture does, we create or originate.
Right.
We dominate and then we abandon. Right. So if you look at every form of music, there's a period from the time that slaves got to North America up until 30 seconds ago. There's been a form of music where we have got in and created it, dominated it, and moved on to something else. While we have not moved on in hip hop, we kind of have moved on with the culture. We've gotten away from the actual culture of it. So we should not be surprised when there are other people that are going to try to come in and define it for us.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to define it just like they tried to define jazz, and they did not create that. Other people created it, but once it's abandoned, what can you say? Right. So but getting back to that though, there must not have been anybody black on the board in Australia, because there should have been at least one somebody that seen
like,
good that seen a rerun of Good Times or What's Happening at least once and go, I don't think Rerun would have moved like that.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Problematic.
That is crazy. Now, this is truly a visual definition of ignorance is bliss, because I just recalled myself on something that you're gonna laugh at, D-Ray. Because being the VP, you gotta be the one to step out in the booby traps and find out.
Lord.
Let's not do that. So when I was gonna interview Queen Omega, in all of my infinite wisdom, I thought of getting some dreadlock wig. When Sophia heard that, my girl, she's Jamaican, she said, "Do not do that." Again, what you think would be right could be completely wrong. Offensive even.
You would have been like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer showed up with a tan to his black girlfriend's house.
Didn't see that one, but that is definitely pretty bad.
Like, dude. Yeah, I'm glad Queen stopped you from that one.
Well, she always be on me with any of this stuff, so I got to stay within that perimeter.
Hey, she saved you from one right there, because good and well, Queen Omega would have got you. Everybody watching would have got you, and it'd have been on.
It would have been rough, yeah.
See, the same way that you had someone looking out for you.
That's what she needs.
That's what she should have had in that moment. Like, no, she should have pulled her to the side and been like, "Listen, I don't think that this is going to be the right stage for you to be, doing this. I don't think this is not for you. I'm gonna need you to, move to the side and let somebody else, handle this."
D-Ray, I know you've seen it because you were showing a little bit of it. Remember Bill Burr was saying white people need to have black friends? Just like when he was like, in the car, is this gun registered? You can get 5 to 10 for this.
Hey,
so you gotta have someone that got you.
Hey, look, because he know what the black forces mean. That means when the black forces, when they scratched up, that means he will come up in your house. But but the problem is, I think she had too many people telling her it was okay. Apparently. And I think that is another problem that you see here, even in this country, where if you have a group of people who have influence, who have money, who have power, they can tell themselves that whatever they say and whatever they do is okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I thought it was funny. Even the outrage is funny, because I think it might have been like a collective billion of us were looking at the Olympics going, I know you lying. I just know you lying. Right?
Yeah.
And here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna do a movie about that chick. She's gonna be getting paid. She's gonna be like William Hung when he won, when he was on American Idol with She Bang, and it's gonna be like a hit, and she's gonna get invited to everybody's video, and she's gonna be like a star. Mark my
You think
words.
so?
Hip
So
hop done turned another one into a star.
let's check a little bit more. Here we go.
Rachel Gunn, known as Ray Gunn, an Australian breakdancer who gained attention for her unconventional style at the 2024 Paris Olympics, has responded to critics who mocked her moves. Ray Gunn, 36, went viral after her performance in the Breaking B-Girls Round Robin Group B, where she competed against younger and more traditional competitors. Despite losing 3 battles, she stood by her unique approach, emphasizing creativity and artistry over the power moves typically favored in the sport. In an interview with ESPN, Ray Gunn stated, "I was never going to beat these girls on what they do best, their power moves. What I bring is creativity." She expressed that while her moves might not always resonate with judges, they reflect her artistic expression and originality. Australia's chef de mission, Anna Mears, also defended Ray Gunn, highlighting the sexist undertones in some of the criticism and praising Ray Gunn's courage and character. Mears pointed out that Ray Gunn has been a trailblazer in a male-dominated sport and continues to inspire others with her dedication and passion for breaking. Ray Gunn, who is also a university lecturer in Sydney, incorporates her love for breaking into her academic work, studying the cultural politics of the sport. Despite the criticism, she remains proud of her artistic contributions to breaking, representing her individuality and the Olympic spirit.
Okay, first of all, calling it a sport is a problem.
I ain't have a problem with that, because breakdancing, because if you call what is it, rhythmic swimming a sport, I don't have a problem with breakdancing being called a sport. What I do have a problem with, though, is if you got a track and field event and somebody my size is in the 100-yard dash, and they represent some obscure country, y'all couldn't have just sat this one out.
Right. you know,
gotcha. I could have been, the Olympics been over 5 days. I probably would have just been touching the tape. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm trying not to cuss. I gave myself one time. I said I'm gonna cuss one time, and that's it. I'm trying to stop. The more we talk about it, the madder I'm gonna get. Oh, and by the way, the thing she said about her being 36, Crazy Legs from Rocksteady Crew is
56,
57, 58. He could outdance her right now.
No doubt.
And he probably should have. And get a sponsor from Ben Gay and Icy Hot and outdance her right now.
See, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna leave it alone.
Fair enough.
I don't even want to make this about a race thing, because I don't even have a problem with her being,
right.
What is she, white?
Australian,
white?
I guess.
Australian?
I guess they consider her white. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even have a problem with her being white, so I don't even want to get it. I don't want to make it about a race thing. My problem is the skill level. You don't have the skills to do what you're doing. It would be different if you were great at what you're doing. You don't even have the skills to do what you're doing. Like that one move that she did when she looked like she was having a seizure, where she was doing flopping like a fish out of water. Like I don't understand. What was that? What was that? I don't know.
Well, two things, and I'm done too. Before I start cussing again. Number one, I'm literally sitting up there trying to figure out, okay, what time signature is that? Because that ain't 4/4 time. She ain't on the 2 and she ain't on the 4. What beat is she actually on? Because I can't figure it out. This is like some obscure Russian composer with some kind of crazy meter. I just can't figure it out. That's number one. Number two, last week, beloved, I told y'all that I had my eye on the Russians and the Koreans to win, right? The guy that won, Phil Wizard, or P. Kim, whatever he's called. He
Yeah.
is from Canada, but where does he originate from?
Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah. The Koreans is cold.
Tell me,
The Koreans ice cold.
hey, I will take that Negro Damas award. Yes, I will.
No doubt. So yeah, we'll go ahead and let this go. It is what it is. It happened.
Oh, and real quick, did you see how quick breakdancing got pulled from the Olympics from the
They're
next
like,
one?
nope.
It's like,
I didn't see that. Really?
it's gone.
It's
One and done.
Wow.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Wow.
It
I didn't even
win.
know that.
like
Ray
you said, Ray Gun
Gun shot him dead.
killed it. And it's funny, a black person had nothing to do with it. It got killed.
Man.
You would have swore Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on the Olympics.
Oh
man.
my
Right.
gosh.
Right.
Wow.
It
That's funny,
is what it is. God, dog. We can't have nothing.
Hey, you know exactly what I want to say right now. We can't have, but I ain't
Yep.
gonna do it.
Not today. Not today. Well, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play the blast artist, and for tonight, we got Greg Lester here. We're gonna actually play his jam. He released it 2 weeks now. Has it been 2 weeks?
I think it was 2 weeks. Let's see. It was August the 2nd. So
About
what's
2 or
that?
3.
Yeah, not 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Either which way, it's a hit with us. We love our dude. He's been killing it. So definitely come check it out. Come listen with us. This is called I Believe right here.
Let's go.
I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You died for me. I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah, I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe. Ooh,
I just can't believe it. You love me for no reason. Even when I push away and I fall back just like the seasons. It's crazy you don't need me, but you know I need you. In the middle of my storm, you say just sit back, let me lead you. Just know that I'm God. You know the feeling is real. You so in tune with me that you know every hair I got on top of my head. Every move that I make, every step that I take. You know all about it, you know all about it, so I don't need to be fake. I don't know why you died for me. The answer's hard to find, so they're like we're playing hide and seek. But you saw something inside of me, and that's fine with me because in you is where I find my peace. So when the problems come and make it hard to see, I'ma ride the wave, just like I ride the beat.
I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You died for me. I just can't believe it, yet I still believe it. You set me free. Yeah, I try to wrap my mind around it, but your ways and your thoughts cannot be explained. I ask a lot of questions because you want me to know you will and get understanding. I believe. Ooh, I believe.
I be thinking how you love a little sinner like me. If they knew about my past, I know they wouldn't like me. You sent your son to die, and I don't take it lightly. Any problems that I have, I know you got me. Oh, I believe that you died on the cross. Rose again to save the lost. When it comes to this trip, man, I ain't gonna lie, you're the reason for all of the songs. Gotta run it back, gotta run it back. You the reason for the songs. And I believe that I was bald. You broke the chains and set me free. Ain't no way that I can't believe. It's because of you that I made brand new. I've been purchased, you paid the fee. I don't look like what I've been through. All my sins been washed clean. I hope you understand what I'm saying, virtuous. Won't you tell them what I
just can't
mean?
believe it, yet I still believe it. You died for me.
That track is so dope.
Appreciate it, man. I really do.
Amazing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So
And
Greg,
you know we would tell you if it was whack.
Oh, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, if it was whack, number one, you wouldn't even be on the podcast. I just saw you at the Chicken Shack, and I'd have been like, man, like how they do it in the old mafia films. Now I have to turn my back on you. No, but it's dope though, for real.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear, man. I want to hear the criticism. I don't think you are a true artist if you are not open to criticism.
That part.
Because not everything that you do is going to be extremely fire. Like,
thank you.
You are going to have at least one track in your life that's you think back on it and you listen to it and it's like, I could have did better on that. Like, you know, it's always something.
If you really living this life, it's gonna be more than one track.
Yeah. I was just trying to be nice.
No, man, you're gonna have a whole hard drive with a label on it, trash. And somebody's gonna be like, "Is this broke?" It's like, no, just everything on there is trash. Yeah.
I got tracks on my computer now that I'm just like, they probably won't never make it to the light. Nobody will ever hear it.
Now, at the same time, you may think it's trash, but someone else may think it's treasure.
That's true.
Because how many artists have we heard that totally neglected a song, and that's a song that just boom?
Yeah,
I would play Kenneth K. Fly's song that he don't like, but it's a little crazy for the show. But yeah, it's fire to me.
But you know what though, that happens a lot, Veep, because if you look at a lot of interviews from musicians, it's always that song that they was like, nobody's gonna like this crap. I don't even know why the record company's making me put this out. Yeah. And that's the one that they got to sing for the next 40 years. You know
MOP Annie Up. They actually said, who's going to want to hear about people robbing and jacking them for their jewelry?
Hey, it's going to be in about 20 years. It's going to be an 80-year-old man on the porch of the retirement community. It's going to be like, Annie Up.
Yeah.
DMX had his first single that he came out with. What was it? The Rough Riders anthem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He said it in his interview. He was like, I didn't want to do this. He was like, because the rhyme said something about I was rhyming too elementary on that song. He was like, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to put this out as a single.
Wow.
And that was the one that ended up blowing up and made him into who he was.
Wow. So, he had to do the growl for the rest of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
But it paid the bills. Paid the bills.
Facts.
No doubt.
Bad as habits, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, Greg, tell us a little bit about how that song, I believe, came about. What was the whole process behind it?
So I believe I told both of you guys off air about this, but that song is like actually 3 years old, and Virtuous, who is the one that's singing on that song, we've been knowing each other for quite a while now, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of our first collaboration songs that we did, because we had been going back and forth like, we need to do a song together. Because, I've always admired her work that she does. And, she's always had respect for me as well. And, we was going back and forth. And every time we would say we was going to do something together, things kind of fell through and all that kind of stuff. So things finally lined up one day. I sent her a message and I said, hey, I got a couple of beats that I want you to listen to because I want you on one of these songs. So I sent her the beats, and that was the one that she chose. And so I said, put a hook to it. And if you want to sing the bridge too, I'm with it. So she put the hook, she recorded the hook, recorded the bridge.
Wow.
And let me hear it. And she asked me, did I like it? I was like, absolutely. What kind of question is that? What you mean? I love this. And
Yeah.
there was no topic for it at first.
Okay.
I didn't,
Okay.
it was a clean slate. Like, it was just the beat. I didn't have any words to it at all. And she came back with the hook and the bridge, and the rest was history, man. I took off with it after that.
If I can ask you, why did it take 3 years? Because to me it was fire and relevant, but what was the 3-year period?
It was a mixture of things. I was going to put it on a project.
Okay.
And then I started seeing the climate of how people consume music nowadays. And people's attention span is very short. It's nothing like it used to be back in the days. Like, back in the days, you would sit with the project for a long time, and like you would study the project and listen to the lyrics and listen to the instrumentation and all the nuances and everything. And nowadays, people will listen to a project one time and it's like they rate it, yeah, this is a classic, or no, this is trash, and then they're on to the next project when somebody else releases something. And it's just like,
wow,
I did not want to put all of my blood, sweat, and tears into a project for someone to listen to it one time and then be done with it. And I'm just like, nah. So now I'm in a place in my life where musically I'm just releasing singles. And then that's what turned it into a 3-year span. I wanted to wait until I felt like it was the right time to release it.
That's ironic that you said that, man, because number one, I think people tend to think that because now you can release music so easy that we could write a song tonight and it'd be out tomorrow, which is kind of true. But when you're in this to try to win it, you realize that there has to be a strategy even when you're releasing music, and that's the thing about hip hop. There was always a strategy, and the streets was the strategy, right? How are you going to win the streets? And I think that with today's climate, people have very, very short attention spans unless you can tap something that resonates with them. Yeah. That they can resonate with, and they can go, oh, I'm living that, or oh, I believe that. Oh, yeah, that right there. And it's usually the most simple thing that people can just attach themselves to. I mean, you think about what's the biggest record in the last 2 or 3 years? Might have been Old Town Road. Think about Old Town Road. Yeah. How simple is that song? Yeah. It's got a memorable hook. It's got a funny vocal delivery. And everybody and their grandma, both white and black, was singing the song.
Gravitated to it.
You get what I mean? It resonated, and so I think that's. I'm proud of you for showing some thought into releasing your stuff, and you release quality stuff. And shout out to Virtuous. I cannot remember where I met her. Where I met her first is either at a gospel music conference, or I met her on the street when she was about to perform on the street for the Cheerwine Festival in Salisbury, North Carolina. But every time I see that sister, she is so positive. She is so uplifting. Like if you in a bad mood around that queen and you want to stay in a bad mood, just don't talk to her. Yeah. You know what I mean? She shines a light in really dark places. And I have a lot of respect for her grind. I really do.
She's dope. She's super dope. I had to thank her a couple of times for lending her vocals for the song. But she's very dope. And that song is what led to us collaborating a couple more times. I'm on her project, one of her projects that she's got called, what was the name of that project? I can't remember the name of the project, but the name of the song is Prayed Up. I don't know if you guys heard that one, but that's that's a banger. That's a banger. So she's super dope. Super dope.
When you ever speak to Virtuous, you let her know. We would love to talk to her. Not necessarily to send her, but I would love for her to, for one of our hosts. We got some amazing podcast hosts that would love to interview her. And, give her some flowers and just learn more about her. So most definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
As well as she's welcome to join Blast, and we can definitely share her music as well. Because just like yours, bro, that week you released, we shared it for a whole week. Just about every single podcast, man, because that song is amazing.
Man, y'all, I was telling you off air, man, y'all are super dope. It's when you're an artist, it's hard to find genuine people who are not only not afraid to critique, but also not afraid to give you flowers. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like how can I say it? It's not like I'm going through life looking for flowers, but whenever someone gives you them, it's just like, it's so refreshing, you know what I'm saying, to feel the support. So man, y'all are super dope.
Okay, so I'm gonna be your anger translator. So let me tell you what he's really saying. For all you two-faced, backstabbing, jealous. No, okay, I really was about to go on a tangent there, but no, it's the validation. You know what I mean? We don't really go to seek that validation, but it is always nice when you see somebody, even if it's down to just bopping their head, and you know within that first 10 seconds, got him. Got him. You know what I mean? That validation means more than just about anything when you're a creative person. And to your credit, I haven't really heard anything whack from you yet. I have not.
That's on purpose.
Because look, because you know good and well, hey, you'll get a phone call from me. It's like, hey, bro, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I told you earlier. I got a computer over here. It's a file on here, a folder that's got some whack stuff on there.
And look, and you know where we live. I probably been unheard about it 2 weeks before you ready to tell me.
Wow.
It's like your neighbor's cousin's former roommate lived down the street from me. You would not believe what Greg Luster tried to go do at the open mic. Like,
boy,
country music and hip hop? Nah. Where is my phone at?
What was he thinking?
What was you thinking? Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
No, the honor is ours. We love uplifting and encouraging these artists because it's tough out there, man. And
what you telling?
You having someone that have been artists themselves to actually encourage you. So, we get it. It's not easy. So yeah, that's what we're about. We're here to promote.
That's a heck of a segue because something that we were talking about before the show, we were talking about how the evolution of Christian hip hop has to the point now when it's the early to mid 80s, you could definitely tell Christian hip hop from other stuff. Because people were giving basically they were the ray guns of hip hop in the mid.
excellent description.
You know what I mean? Basically, because they wanted the certificate of participation. Nobody was telling them it was whack. Nobody was telling them your production sucked. Nobody was telling them you have no cadence and no timing because you were doing it for the Lord, right? And I think nowadays you have producers who are just completely sick with it. Which, and we could maybe this would be a good question for you, Greg. Is it a double-edged sword now that Christian hip hop does have that same quality? It does have that same production value. It does have that same cleanness and that slickness. Maybe it almost sounds too much like the world. What are your thoughts on that?
Sometimes it can be a problem. And the reason why I say that is because I remember the other day I was at the gym and I was, getting my workout in. Normally I have like on Apple Music, I have like a set playlist that has a whole bunch of songs on there, you know what I'm saying, that I listen to. But this particular day, I decided, well, let me go ahead and let Apple Music decide this for me.
Oh boy!
So it started off with Lecrae,
Of course.
then it slid into Andy Mineo, and I was like, okay, all right, bet.
Okay.
Then it slid into who was it?
NF.
Todd Brazel.
Okay.
It slid into him. Then it slid into what's that boy name? Travis Scott. It slid into Travis Scott somehow.
Whoa! It tripped.
And I was sitting here and I was like, who is this? And did he say what I think he said? Oh no. Wait a minute. And so I had to grab the phone real quick to look who it was. And so I say all that to say this. It can get tricky. The lines can get blurry.
You know
what I'm saying? And I guess it just depends on the lyrical content. I feel like I don't think it's a problem to sound too much like the world, but you don't want to get so deep into it to where it's just like you blur the lines. Like, all right, what we doing? Are we on this side or are we on that side? When you get to the point where you can't tell which side it is, then it's just like, I don't know.
You know what, Greg? It reminds me of back in the day, long before you were really even thought of, because you're the youngster up here.
Yeah.
but back in the day, I remember I was parked in a car with my girlfriend, and we was off doing stuff that we ain't had no business, right?
Yeah.
Listening to Power 97, Quiet Storm, right? So and then right in the middle of everything, here come BB and CC.
Oh wow!
That's
right?
The whole mood up.
You know what I mean? And now you got to sit there because both of us is church kids. Both of us looking at each other like, okay, do we continue? Do we stop? Or do we finish? It's like,
not like God took over the DJ.
The real question. Here's the real question. Here's the real question.
Nope, I'm pleading the fifth.
Here's the real question. If you continue, you was a straight heathen. For real.
I plead a fifth.
Like you said.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Anything you say, fifth. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, it puts you in situations like before the show, we was listening to somebody and we both had to do a double take. It's like, did he just say what? And we had to clear it up because it sounded too much like something that somebody else would say, you know? And so that's kind of problematic for me, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Veep has been a Christian hip hop fan forever. What do you think about it, man?
I've been on the belief of, in order to, reach someone, you got to have something that's going to catch their attention. Because I've heard some of the music in the 80s before I knew about SFC and Soldiers for Christ and what was it, Freedom of Soul, Dynamic Twins. Shoot, before I knew of them, there was a group. There was 12 Tribe. I'm trying to think who else was out at that time. And it's like they just put stuff together and it didn't do anything for me. As soon as I heard it, I was done with it. But when it was me trying to live a certain lifestyle, it's music that I could relate to, and it's also, really driving me. It motivated me. It made me a fan. Because to this day, Super C is my guy, and he ain't been behind a mic in I don't know how long, but he's on Instagram, and it's like, man, that's your idol growing up. So it has to be relatable. We can't assume that we're going to attract flies with, poop. Well, poop does attract flies. Correction. You got to give them something that's going to attract them. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. And if the music is not there and it has no integrity, and that was another thing, I would not tag God onto something and it was trash. I just would not do that. If I didn't feel I really either paid for what I was really seeking to uplift him or really dedicated the time to give him props and stuff like that, I just wouldn't do it. So it's important.
I think that is where the line starts to get drawn between ministry and the business, right?
Yeah.
Because anybody can do ministry. Anybody can, one of the things that I say is everybody can actually sing. The question is, do people want to hear you sing?
That part.
Right. And the idea is that early in the church, anytime somebody young did something, there were one or two elks. Either they were ran out of the church as heretics, or they were like encouraged because it was something positive. Forget if it was, a tape recorder in somebody's basement and, forget about the quality. It was just the fact that they were doing it.
Right.
And that is how you lose a culture.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, who was I can't think of, was it the Yellow Jackets? I can't remember. White Stripe. Maybe that was it. The white Christian hard rock band from the 80s. Yellow Jacket, White Stripe, one of them. I can't think of it. But I remember listening to that and like it was 85, 86. I'm going to look it up. And listening to the production quality. Now, me being a Bon Jovi and a closet metalhead, I could respect what they were doing.
You talking about
even
Striper?
Though I thought Striper, that was it.
Striper.
I couldn't think of I could respect what they're doing, but the thing that got me was the production value. It didn't sound like somebody did it in a basement. It sounded like they actually went into a studio. Something for Christian hip hop in the mid 80s, unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've toured and did everything like every other metal and rock band did. That's what was surprising. As a matter of fact, I'd love to interview them.
I would too, because I got questions. As our esteemed E would say on our gaming podcast, I have questions.
Yeah.
I would love to ask them about, did they have gospel groupies like the Mighty Clouds of Joy had gospel groupies?
Hey,
I love how I say something that y'all just don't want to recite. No, because they did.
They did. That's why I was gonna say, hey, freaks be in church too. So I'm just keeping it 2000.
Hey, that's where they be at for real.
For real.
Look, the thing about it is, I'm a preacher's kid, so I know.
PKs know.
I know. Trust me.
Hey, look, as someone who grew up in Presbyterian USA and had to go to them youth rallies every summer and every fall, I can tell you clarity and certain there was not a whole lot of Jesus going on. It might have been a whole lot of Jesus being called on, but it wasn't a whole lot of Jesus being taught.
I believe it.
We keep it real up in the center.
We was literally like the Hunger Games. May the odds be forever in your favor.
I believe it.
Look, that long trip up I-85 back to High Point. It's like, what happened to you? You have to show the hickey? No, I'm sorry. I went back. I went too far back.
Lord.
I'm so sorry.
It's starting to come to mind now.
Bro.
I was going to tell you, as a matter of fact, D-Ray, I had spoken to the Christian rock band Pillar, and they're actually open to being interviewed on Blaster. So I'm pretty stoked with that. Because Pillar, they got some songs I used to love back in the day. So I definitely hope that comes around. Well, anyway. Well, dang, Greg, shoot. We done went through a lot already. Are you doing any touring real soon or anything like that?
No, to be honest with you, no. I want to. That's always a good thing to do, but I haven't been haven't scheduled any touring and nothing like that. I just been, if something pops up like a event performance or whatever, somebody asks me to do something, I'll do it. But I haven't been doing any touring or nothing like that.
Well, believe you
I'm
me,
open to it though.
Open to something. Yeah. Hopefully 2025 will be favorable. I'd love to get some of our artists together and just have a little jam session. And it's funny, most of all of our artists are in North Carolina anyway, so that just makes it easier for everyone. And just have a North Carolina party.
We had a tour that we did. What year was that? That was 2021. 2020. I think it was 2020.
Right after COVID,
something like that. Something.
Right
I can't remember
COVID?
what year. It was right before COVID. And we just toured.
I vaguely remember
over.
that.
You remember? Okay, yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
Over North Carolina. And it was Virtual was a part of it. Me. It was quite a few people, artists or whatever. And it was nice, man. It was nice. It was real nice. We was trying to put a second tour like that together, but it hasn't came to fruition yet. So,
it's really hard for Christian acts in particular, especially if you're indie. And we could do a whole show on how certain organizations will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a headliner, for an A-lister, but won't give an independent artist a plate of chicken. So
yeah. And we talked about this, I think, the last time that I came on. Like the payment, the preferred payment.
Oh, that's right.
For places.
This is chicken and cornbread.
Yeah. Like, bro.
Hey, look.
You disrespecting me, man.
Hey, look, no, they can't even get the big piece of chicken neither. They got to give me the little scrawny piece that's been there for 3 hours. It's like, this is a deadly weapon. What am I gonna do with this? The chicken club.
Man.
Go out there and rob somebody so I could go to Zaxby's with Greg Luster.
Facts. Facts.
So Greg, before we head out, man, what would you like to tell the people?
Oh man, I appreciate everybody that supports my music. Indeed. Anybody that's ever streamed it, anybody that's ever listened to it, man, I appreciate it. I got new music coming. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted. What was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I got a new song coming.
Bet.
And this one is going to be really, I think we had this discussion last time as well. This one's going to be geared towards like kind of more of a mainstream type of way. But it's still gospel, but it's like, how Lecrae does his songs where he doesn't really mention like, he's not Jesus, all in his music. He's like, really mainstream with it, but he's still gospel. That's what this song is going to be.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to pitch it towards getting like some type of sync licensing and stuff like that, because I'm trying to get in on some video games, because I can really like video games. So
no doubt,
be on the lookout for that.
Most definitely, we will. As you know, we'll push that for sure. So let us know when it's out, brother.
Yes, sir.
D-Ray,
yes, sir.
What would you like to tell the people before we head out, bro?
A couple of things. Number one, Greg, maybe you could tell us next time who produced that next track, because I think I'm on the list somewhere, but we'll see. We'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's another one too. Has he heard it?
I'll just kidding. He has. Okay, that's kind of like my de facto manager. So
okay.
Yeah. But two, when your child comes in and says that he lost in Madden against the Cleveland Browns and he was playing with the Steelers.
Oh Lord.
It shows tremendous love for me to not kick him out of my house. Tremendous. And lastly, bro, I'm gonna get you for that one for real. To borrow the words of Common, hip hop is supposed to help you elevate or go higher, right? So Ray Gun,
either elevate or go higher,
or go home. How about that,
home.
Ray Gun?
Got it.
Go home. Bees.
My goodness. Well, again, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us and enjoying my guest, Greg Lester, and of course, me and my man D-Ray holding it down. Big salute to Sharita, my man Mike out there, praising God. Definitely lift us up because we all can use prayer. Everybody be safe.
Dissing us for Jesus.
Dissing us for Jesus. Everybody have a good weekend. Please be safe, and definitely we will see you next week.
Greg, hang back. Don't leave.
Yes, sir.
They used to jam in the center.